It's really a refurb in view of our takeover of the Rendezvous brand sometime in August last year. So what we've done is we've tried to look at the hotel and thought to ourselves, how does this fit into a whole spectrum of different brands? And what we decided to do was we thought that the Rendezvous brand lent itself very well to be a nexus of different themes and ideas, especially in the location it's in, because it has, we are really in a very vibrant art district, museum district of Singapore. And we think that the Rendezvous brand can translate very well, even to the hotels in Australia, if we were to give it a very distinctive art-inspired feel. And hence, we've given the hotel somewhat of a makeover and trying to create this very artistic vibe of the hotel and trying to attract also that type of clientele. And so that fits very well into our spectrum of brands because we actually niche the various psychographics instead of demographics, which is what other brands do. We try to niche psychographics instead of just the traditional ratings by stars or by the traditional way hotels categorize themselves.
So is this how the brand will be expressed going forward? Is this what customers around the world can expect from when they go to any Rendezvous hotel anywhere, I guess, over the next couple of years?
Yes, yes, they can, because you see, we have a speciality and we want to dominate the upscale mid-tier market. Now, the up-tier mid-scale market is incredibly broad, and therefore, it's not about a product definition in terms of by stars or by grade, but how we are able to cater to the various psychographics within this rather broad and interesting spectrum of mid-tier and upscale. So depending on the location of where the hotel resides and the type of clientele that it attracts, we're able to have a brand that resonates with this particular market. So for example, in the case of Rendezvous, the hotel has to reside in a rather the artistic part of town, and it has to attract a market that is looking forward to being stimulated with visual arts or with stories about the heritage of that location. Now, so that if that meets the criteria, then of course the Rendezvous brand will be used, and that would resonate. Now, if the location is a central business district type of location, where it's really your road warriors type of location, then we have the Oasia brand that juxtaposed in a very, very busy, bustling part of town with a hotel that actually has a very zen-like and a very calming effect. So that would be the Oasia brand. Then of course, there will be the traditional part of town that is lifestyle, where the big brands are and shopping, and it's a glamorous part of town. Now we have that type of a location, then we probably use our Quincy brand. So a Quincy brand, as an example, would suit very well in Australia to be, for example, in a location like on the Rocks, where you have the stylish side of town, right? So that would be where we would be deploying that brand.
So 3 Rendezvous brands at the moment. Are you going to come back to one Rendezvous brand and look at your other brands where it's appropriate? Because Rendezvous has gone through a lot of changes in the last 10 years of sub-brands and different brands. And is this kind of getting back to one master brand?
Yes, I think we have to. What is important in terms of a brand is a brand must, the brand must at the end of the day reflect itself in a way of what it really is, rather than trying to be something which is going to be a stretch for us to try to be. So in the case of like Rendezvous, I think the brand itself, just because the very word rendezvous suggests that it's a meeting point, it's a nexus of ideas. Also because we already have a spectrum of different brands to cater for different psychographics. There's no need for us to, within a Rendezvous brand, have sub-brands such as a Grand or a Studio, which incidentally may or may not translate in certain marketplaces.
And some of these could fit better under Toga's brands or under your brands, couldn't they?
Spot on. You're absolutely right. So, for example, some of the Rendezvous, we can consider that reflagging them as a vibe or as an Adina. So it would be more appropriate then.